Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Rob at Kozzie T. Thank you for tuning in as always. I have a very big project that I've been planning out for a while today, and this video I have put a lot of time and my heart into. It was so much work that yesterday I was just completely burned out after it was said and done, but I am very proud of what I've created here. It's not, Disney level quality, but it's Kozzie T quality. And if I didn't make it, it wouldn't exist. And so I'm very proud of this. I hope that you enjoy it. And yeah, let's get into the video then. This part of the video, I have started working on this animation. The animation in the drawing board, I wanted to make one because I've been getting into the animation assist with Procreate, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I drew a line across the page and I was like, all right, this is a line on the page horizontally from one side to the other. What does this mean to me? And immediately I thought of a bird on those like wires with the poles. I don't know what they're called. The wires, the street things that all of our houses are connected to. I'm so smart. So I started off here with looking at some reference photos for birds because it dawned on me I've never really drawn a lot of birds before, and I wasn't sure the angles and how I was going to get this bird to fly into the screen. So I looked at a couple different birds and I used Unsplash to do that, and then I added those reference photos to Procreate so I could look at them while I was drawing. One of the things that helped me save a lot of time here was not actually redrawing every single frame, and then also to save myself more time, instead of fully redrawing it when I wanted a position change, I decided to copy and paste something that kind of resembled the bird that I was trying to draw, but then I would erase and then add on to the elements that I wanted to change. So this allowed the bird to kind of keep a particular look throughout the entire animation that I think, presents itself to be the bird that it is. It took me some time to figure out how I was going to angle the bird flying in, because this is obviously a 2D animation, and if I wanted to do the bird face on, I would have to completely redraw it from a different angle. So to save myself time, I decided to kind of keep the bird sideways versus having it face forward. I had the wire as the background for the entire animation so that you would see it in every single frame that I drew, and then I would just position the bird on the wire and I wouldn't have to redraw the wire every frame. But eventually I changed that. When he landed on the wire, it just looked really stiff, and wires tend to bounce up and down, so I wanted to add that flexibility to that, so when he did land on it, it looked a little bit more realistic. And then I decided that I wanted him to blink. I had to add some blinks throughout this video so it looked a little bit more realistic. So as he's moving along the wire, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't just hopping up and down, because the hop, although it is what birds do and they move very quick, so it is kind of like up and down very fast, they also fly. So I didn't want to completely make it a stiff jump up and then back down and just like click, 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 click all the way to the other side of the wire. So I decided to add some flying motions in here. This was, I think, one of the hardest elements because I wanted to make the wing flap look natural, and I don't think I fully achieved that, especially at the end of the video, but I think for what it is, it stands enough that it translates well, that it is something that a bird would do, and that's what I tried to keep into consideration. So right about now in the video, you're seeing me kind of clean up some of these choppy lines of the original animation, and then here is where I decided to go in and actually just completely trace over it in a new canvas so that I could transfer it over and it look a little bit cleaner in presentation. So now I'm just kind of finishing up those cleanup sketches that I wanted to do so I could retransfer them into the canvas. So now I'm getting into the jump fly segment. I wanted to make sure that when this bird flapped its wings, it looked like the air was being picked up by their wings and then propelling them forward, but also upward. I didn't want the bird to be moving statically in a straight direction because it would kind of feel a little plastic. So this is really when I started to realize about the wire, and as I said earlier, this is where I start making it bounce. So I move the wire from the middle of the screen to the bottom, And this is when I realized I was gonna have to add this wire to every single frame going forward. So you can see me going through the menu, copy and pasting, moving around. And at this point I had quite a few layers. I don't know exactly how many, because once again, they're not numbered. They're all like layer 2. But this is where these little improvisions can become kind of time consuming and a little taxing. So upon adding all of these wire layers to each frame in the animation, I also wanted to revise the jumping that I did. If the wire is gonna bounce when the bird jumps on it, then the bird needs to be lower on the screen. And I also wanted to make sure that the wire was bending at the right point and that it looked realistic in its bounce. So now what I'm getting into is I wanted the bird to sing in this animation. I had a vision of it kind of whistling. At this point in the animation, I wasn't quite sure what I was gonna do later on with the sounds in the footage. So I wanted to make sure visually it was translatable, especially if one's hearing impaired and they can't hear the sounds in the finished animation, that if they were to look at this animation, they would know what the bird is doing. This was also where I decided to change the background. So I went in and I changed the color to blue. I think you'll see that here in a few minutes. Kozzie T colors, if you are unaware, are like a light blue and kind of a honey yellow color. So I made the sky blue, but the music notes originally were black. Then I moved them to that yellow color. So that's where we are right now. I'm gonna go on and let some music play for a little bit, and then I'll jump back in once this gets a little farther. I'll see you in a bit. La, 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 la.
Tonight I'm gonna feel alive, and no, I won't be acting nice. So baby, go and start a fight. I'm in love with the city lights. Look, I'm enough of a big star. I got my girls and I got my cars. Come on here, baby, be a buzz. Do whatever you want. Unlock your shop. We're about to pop. Whatever I do, not up to you.
So this part here is me doing the last part of this animation. We are going in and taking the original frames of the bird flying in and adjusting them, just cleaning them up, making them look a little bit nicer. And then I copied one of those birds and put it later in the animation. As we go into this even more, I decided to clean up the wings a bit because I had this really harsh kind of 90-degree angle for a lot of these different frames. So I decided to round that out a little bit to give it a little bit of a softer look so it didn't look so harsh and kind of blocky. And I think that helped add a little bit more of a natural element to it. I didn't do that at the beginning of the animation, and I also didn't change the shape of the wings in the middle of the animation when the bird flies from one side of the wire to the other. I just did it at the end because that's the most flying that you see at one time, and I think that was when it was the most noticeable. And that's pretty much it. That's a step by step, a lot of hours and work that's gone into just a little 10-second clip over and over. But yeah, I mean, that's what animation is, and regardless of how much time it takes, it was really rewarding and I had a lot of fun doing this. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. I will see you at the end of the video. Ta-da! That's it. You've seen the thing. All of this work just for that tiny little segment of footage, but it's so cohesive and it's so together, and it's just crazy to think that I was able to make something like that. It's been a while since I felt this rewarded from an art project, so I think this tells me a lot about where I need to put my focus. Anywho, that is it for today. That is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I appreciate it. As always, stay beautiful, stay true, stay you, and above all else, stay cozy. I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. Take care of yourselves. I love you. Peace.